In the forests of northern Michigan, witnesses once described something moving through the darkness, upright, silent, and impossible to explain. These accounts weren't shared online. They weren't meant to convince anyone. They were whispered warnings, long before the name Michigan Dogman ever existed. Tonight, we're examining the earliest known reports from 1938, the sightings that laid the foundation for the Michigan Dogman case. Where they came from, what witnesses actually described, and why these reports still trouble investigators decades later. This is not folklore. This is where the evidence begins. Michigan, 1938. The country was still recovering from the Great Depression. Rural communities were isolated. Dense forests stretched for miles. Electricity was limited, and nights were truly dark. In these conditions, several residents from different parts of northern Michigan reported encounters with something they could not identify. There were no headlines, no radio broadcasts, no organized panic, just people telling others what they believed they had seen. Witnesses consistently described a figure that was large, covered in dark fur, standing upright on two legs, with a head resembling a dog or wolf. Most unsettling of all, these descriptions came from people who had no known connection to one another. What makes the 1938 reports unusual is not fear, it's restraint. Many witnesses delayed speaking publicly for years. Some only shared their experiences with family members. Others dismissed what they saw until later reports resurfaced. When these early accounts were eventually collected, researchers noticed something difficult to ignore. The details matched. Witnesses described the creature's height, posture, and movement in nearly identical terms. Several claimed it watched silently from the edge of the tree line before disappearing into the forest. Later investigators attempted to explain the sightings through known causes. Could it have been a bear, wolves, or exaggerated fear in isolated environments? But Michigan bears do not walk upright for extended periods. Wolves do not stand over 6 feet tall, and psychological explanations struggle to explain why separate witnesses reported the same physical traits. No evidence of hoaxes was found, no financial motives, no known animals that fully fit the descriptions. Why did these reports appear in 1938 and then fade away? Why did later sightings, decades apart, describe the same creature with almost no variation? And how did a case with no photographs, no recordings, and no physical evidence manage to remain so consistent? Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Michigan Dogman case is this. The earliest witnesses were not trying to create a legend. They weren't searching for attention. They weren't selling a story. They were ordinary people describing something they believed they encountered, something that frightened them enough to remember it clearly for the rest of their lives. No physical evidence from 1938 survives today. There are no photographs, no recordings, only witness reports. Yet those early accounts became the blueprint for every Dogman sighting that followed, shaping a mystery that refuses to disappear. Whether the Michigan Dogman represents a misidentified animal, a psychological phenomenon, or something still unexplained remains unknown. But the 1938 reports remain the starting point, the moment when something entered the record and never truly left. Do you believe the 1938 witnesses were all mistaken? Or did they encounter something we still don't understand? In 1938, multiple witnesses across northern Michigan reported seeing the same unexplained creature, upright, silent, and unlike any known animal. This video examines the earliest documented witness reports that began what would later become known as the Michigan Dogman case. Leave a like if you want more cryptid encounters, mystery files, and forgotten cases. Don't forget to subscribe to Forgotten Evidence, Buried Truth. This channel is new, and your support helps keep these stories alive. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next case.